Welcome back to the channel, guys. So today I'm going to show you a very interesting strategy, and this is the team strategy which I used in my season 4 battles, and I gained a lot of points with that. And I did make a video on that, so do make sure to check out that one. You can access that by clicking on the I button. One slight modification I did to that theme is that I added Dragonite instead of Charizard. So today there will not be one but two strategies with this team, and I think both of them has its own merits. So one will be leading Swampert and the other one would be leading Empoleon. So I'll be talking this in detail when we speak about the team composition. So before we start with that, if you are new to the channel and if you like our content, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. We are trying to get to 300 subs before New Year, and I think the channel has picked up some pace. So make it happen, guys. It will really help us out a lot. So let's start with the team composition, and first I would like to start with the Swampert, Gengar and Dragonite comp. So this team, I was using this team in my season 4, just that I was using Charizard instead of Dragonite. But I tried to make some changes because Dragonite has its own merits. But since I'm running Swampert with Sludge Wave, it will gain some matchups, but again it will lose some matchups as well. Like Empoleon matchup becomes a bit tedious because Hydro Cannon would be resisted. So Gengar, in my opinion, is a very good save swap, and I'm running Gengar with Sludge Bomb so that I can have some Snorlax coverage as well, because Snorlax and Obstagoon are kind of common this season. And the next one would be Empoleon lead strategy. So in this one you will gain a lot of matchups, but you will lose to some of the fighters like Surfaced and I think Gallant matchup is a bit iffy. As long as you shield close combat, I think you're good, but definitely you do need to watch out for those fighters. But the advantage is that you will be strong against the water type leads, like Gyarados, or you will even have a decent matchup against Dragonite. So as I said that each team has its own merits, and even though they do not perform very well in in PvP rating, I think they still do very well overall, which you're going to see in the battles. So without further delays, let's start with the battles and see how the battle goes. So we are in a surface lead, and I think Swampert will lose this matchup because they both get to charge moves at the same time, and Swampert will not be able to tank a Leaf Blade. So I made a swap to Gengar, just trying to catch a Leaf Blade, but they overfarmed, and so I shielded that Brave Bird correctly. It would have knocked the Gengar out like 3 times. So going for hitting Sludge Bomb, let's see if the opponent shield. The opponent will shield this one, so not really looking good for a Gengar as well, because I don't shield this because I don't want to lose both of my shields, because this Gyarados is a problem for our team and can damage the Dragonite in the back as well. So not shielding the Aquadale, this will not do enough damage, and we will be able to get to a Sludge Bomb. So I charge some extra energy beyond Sludge Bomb and go for it, because I did not think that the opponent will shield, but the opponent does eventually end up shielding that. So I go for Hydro Cannon just to do a chip damage off of this Gyarados and make a swap to Gengar so that Gyarados doesn't get a chance to farm. But unfortunately the Gyarados is able to throw this Aquatail, so not really looking good for Dragonite. But they have Typhlosion in the back, and Typhlosion will take some time to get to its charge move, and Incinerate, it takes time to register, so we are able to go for Hurricane and knock out the Typhlosion. And it's just that the Gyarados is very low, so since they swapped, so I don't need to worry about the switch timer, and I can readily go for this Dragon Claw, and I think this will barely take out the Surfetched, and Gyarados was mere Dragon Breath away to knock out. So yeah, very close game. And moving on to the next one, and we are in a Shadow Dragonite lead, and I think I messed up here because I eventually shield this Dragon Claw. I think I shield this, yeah. So what I do is I shield this Dragonclaw and make a swap to Dragonite of my own, and at this point the opponent has already knocked our Dragonite almost out, which is not really good, because our one Pokemon is gone, and Dragonite and this Gengar will face off against this Empoleon, and we don't really have an answer. We do really need to KO this Empoleon, because Empoleon will be a problem for our team, because especially since we are not running Shadow Ball or Earthquake onto a Swampert. Had if we were running Shadow Ball onto Gengar, it might have been a different matchup. But they end up having a Venusaur in the back. So yeah, I mean at this point it's a wrap. We cannot do anything to this Venusaur unless since we will not be able to get to a Sludge Bomb, and even if we did, our Gengar is pretty low and we will lose this match. So yeah, good game. And now in a very bad matchup in an Empoleon lead. So what I do here is I charge up to all the way to an Earthquake, because anyway Swampert can tank one Hydro Cannon, but still I opt to shield because I need this Empoleon to go away, because Empoleon is a major challenge for this team, and that's why I end up swapping the Sludge Bomb with Earthquake in my another set, which I think I'll be featuring in tomorrow's video, because I really do like this combination of Gengar and Dragonite with a water type in the lead. So going for Hydro Cannon, and this time this time the opponent is out of shield, so Gengar will have a very good time, since we are one shield up. So we are able to farm down the Empoleon, which is really good, because whatever comes in, it will take hard on damage. So going for Shadow Punch, this will do a lot of damage to the Galate, and we are trying to farm down here, but we do need to watch out for a close combat, because close combat will do a lot of damage to Dragonite. So we are able to take out the Galate successfully, and they have a Machamp in the back. So the game was wrapped up pretty quickly. So yeah, good game. Moving on to the next one, in a very good lead in the form of this Charizard. So let's see if the Charizard eventually opts to bail and comes in with Venusaur. So that's really good, because now we can pair our Dragonite against this Venusaur. And I always shield the first move, because most of the people would like to go for Sludge Bomb, and if the Sludge Bomb lands, they potentially can flip the matchup if they successfully bait the next Frenzy Plant. So as you can see, Frenzy Plant will not do enough damage, but if you don't shield the Sludge Bomb, potentially Frenzy Plant can take out Dragonite. So now this forces my opponent to shield, and now if the opponent wants to keep Venusaur alive, they need to invest another shield, but they don't. They let go of the Venusaur, and at this time my Dragonite has a lot of energy, but they come in with Empoleon, which is really not good for our team. So let's see if I think we shield this. No, we are letting go of our Gengar, because the reason is because since they have a Charizard in the back, so we do need some shields for a Swampert to be alive. So this Hydro Cannon will not be shielded, so fortunately we are able to get to another Hydro Cannon. This cannon will bring down the Empoleon very low, or they opt to shield. So now there is still for a chance for us if we manage to catch on to next Hydro Cannon onto our Dragonite. So counting waterfalls is pretty easy. I think it takes 5 waterfalls to get to Hydro Cannon, but since we had energy of our Dragonite, we go for Dragon Claw, and the Empoleon was fortunately Dragon Claw range. So going for Dragon Claw, I think maybe this Charizard cannot farm us down. We are at a lot of health. So this Dragon Claw will knock us down, but we almost have a Hydro Cannon ready. But they go for a charge move, expecting it to be a Dragon Claw, since they throw Dragon Claw on a Dragonite. So this Hydro Cannon will definitely be able to take out the Charizard. So yeah, good game, and very close 180. So moving on to the next one, and we are in a Gengar lead. So I think here how I would like to play is that almost all the time the Gengar would shield all the way up to a Sludge Bomb or a Shadow Ball, but they eventually end up baiting, because Swampert is very spammy, and you do want to get ahead on energy, because I mean it happens to me almost all the time that the Gengar eventually ends up going for Shadow Punch. This forces Gengar to dump all their energy in the form of next Shadow Punch. So this Hydro Cannon will knock out this Gengar, and this gives us the switch advantage, which is really critical, because they have a Lapras in the back, which our Dragonite definitely don't want to see. So going for Sludge Wave, and I think having Earthquake would have been an advantage in this situation, because Lapras takes more damage off Earthquake than Sludge Wave does. So going for Hydro Cannon just to do some chip damage, but this Lapras is loaded on energy, so we do need to watch out for that. So I come in with Dragonite expecting a Surf, and it ends up being a Surf. So now I can come in with Gengar, since the Lapras throws some of their energy. So the opponent has a Glade in the back, which is really good, because since we will not be able to get to another Shadow Punch. So now we can come in with Dragonite Shield. We get shield baited with this Leaf Blade, so really not looking good for our Dragonite. And I think this will be a close combat. Let's see. Yeah, this is a close combat. So we survive with 1 HP and able to get to knock down the Gallade. And with almost no HP, we are able to pull the trigger on Dragonclaw to take out this Lapras. So yeah, very close game. And I think this was I feared that close combat would take out the Dragonite. So in a Gallade matchup, and I think this depends on if Gallade overtaps or not. But I think Gallade ends up taking this match because Leaf Blade will just knock out the Swampert. So Gallade has a lot of energy and they were able to successfully swap out. And I tried to catch a Leaf Blade there onto the Dragonite. And it's good that they come in with the Swampert because we will be resisting those Hydro Cannons and as well as those Mud Shots, and we will be doing a lot of damage with the Dragon Breaths and the Dragon Claws. So let's see if I opt to shield. Yeah, I definitely shield this Hydro Cannon and I charge some extra energy and go for a Dragon Claw. So this way I think I will be forcing the opponent's last shield, and or it was the first shield, so that's really good because now I can let go of my Dragonite and come in with Gengar to farm a lot of energy off the Swampert. And so unfortunately Swampert is able to get to a charge move, so this we let go because I do want to save a shield for my Swampert because of that Gallade, and the Gallade is loaded on energy. So fortunately we are able to throw this Shadow Punch which is able to knock the Gallade out, but they have a Venusaur in the back, so that's basically it. We cannot do anything against this Venusaur, and I think I let go of this, or yeah, I don't know why I prolonged this match, but this match was far over the moment the Venusaur came out. So yeah, I don't know why I stayed in this match, but yeah, good game. Moving on to the next one, and this time I swapped Swampert with Empoleon and we got a very favorable lead, and the opponent comes in with Venusaur, so that's really good for our Dragonite because Dragonite will have a good matchup against this Venusaur, and Venusaur, as I said, always go for a Sludge Bomb. So I charge all the way up to Hurricane and go for Dragonclaw. This will not knock out the Venusaur, but it will bring out down very low. But unfortunately, the Venusaur is able to pull the trigger on another charge move. But our Dragonite is loaded on energy, and I think they are most likely to come back in with Zard. Let's see what the opponent comes back in with. Yes, they come back in with Charizard, and they would have to throw their energy because otherwise we will be able to get to another Dragonclaw. So we are able to pull the trigger on another Dragonclaw, which is really great. But the opponent might farm us down at this range, so the opponent will farm us down, which is really not good. But now I think I come in with the Gengar to absorb this damage, even if it was a blast when I was ready to take it, but ends up just being a Dragonclaw. So I now make a swap, and this is most likely to be a Blast Burn, so I shield this Blast Burn, and the opponent will make a swap to Swampert. So as long as this Swampert is not running Earthquake, we can defeat this Swampert even from full health. So this was certainly not a Earthquake, it was too quick to be one. So they go for Hydro Cannon, and now I will not be able to get to another Hydro Cannon before this Swampert throws their energy. So really not looking good. And at this point my only gameplay was that I should have let go of my Empoleon, farm some energy of Swampert, but I don't think that that was going to happen. So it's just a Dragonclaw since they just throw the Blast Punch before. So we are able to throw this last minute Shadow Punch, and this will be able to knock out the Charizard. So yeah, good game. Moving on to the next one, and we are in an Alolan Muck lead, so very favorable lead because Empoleon can do a lot of damage with those waterfalls and Hydro Cannons, and but we'll be taking some decent neutral damage from those Dark Pulses. So this Hydro Cannon almost takes 30% of the Alolan Muck's health, and I don't need to shield the first charge move, but definitely if I want to farm this Alolan Muck, I definitely would want to shield this one. So this Alolan Muck will throw another Dark Pulse, but now can be put farmed on with the waterfalls. Let's see what the opponent comes back in with. So they come back in with Swampert. So yeah, I did not swap out because I would want to pair the Swampert against my Dragonite, or I eventually, yeah, questionable play. Maybe I should not have made that switch. but I feared that Swampert will be able to farm a lot of energy if I had not made the swap. So I shield this charge move. Unluckily, it's just a Hydro Cannon, so they will be able to pull the trigger on another Hydro Cannon. And since they are not swapping out, I am expecting a Venusaur in the back. So we are not able. We are not able to farm down the Swampert. The Swampert barely survives, and this brings us in very low. And the opponent, they do have a Venusaur in the back, but I think we are still in a pretty good position because the Gengar can take on one Frenzy Plant, and fortunately they throw the Frenzy Plant onto the Empoleon. So that's really fortunate because now we will be able to come in with Gengar and do some damage of this, or I come in with Dragonite and throw this Drangler. This will definitely grab a shield, but this will give opportunity to this Venusaur to farm us completely down. But this Venusaur is very low. I think a couple of Shadow Claws and the Venusaur will get down. We will be resisting that Frenzy Plant, and that's why or they go for a Sludge Bomb. Never mind. So definitely Frenzy Plant would have been the way to go, but but still we would have survived. So in a Kingdra matchup, and Kingdra will be massively resisting those waterfalls as well as Hydro Cannons, and we are also taking resisted damage from those Dragon Breaths, but the Dragon Breath damage is eventually adding up. And let's see, so this can be an outrage, but I don't feel expecting an Octazooka, but it ends up being an outrage, so it did a lot of damage even though the outrage is resisted. So going for back-to-back drill pecks, but I swap in order to KO the Kingdra, but they do have a very good answer to our Dragonite in the back in the form of this Togekiss. So I mean, regardless, since the opponent would have won the switch advantage, they would have been able to pair this Togekiss against our Dragonite. So I come in with Gengar, and Sludge Bomb, if lands onto this Togekiss, will do a lot of damage. So I shield this Ancient Power, unfortunately, and the opponent is still a couple of shields ahead. Like they have both of shields, they are intact. So the Shadow Punch almost knocks out the Togekiss, and this Kingdra is able to throw the Octazooka at the last minute, so that's really not good. But they have a Ferrothorn in the back, so Ferrothorn will be able to knock us out, and yeah, they have two shields intact, so we cannot do anything against this Ferrothorn. And Ferrothorn, I guess it's a very decent Pokemon because of its typing, but it will take double super effective damage from those fire types. So yeah, I mean, well played to my opponent. It was a really good game. Moving on to the next one, and we are in a Gallade lead. So this lead, I think it's pretty neutral as long as you are able to shield the close combat correctly. So I don't shield this one, ends up being a Leaflet, so Empoleon can take on Leaflet, and Confusions are doing resisted damage, so they come in with Machamp, and I make a immediate swap to my Gengar, but since a couple of counters got in way, that would have brought down our Empoleon very low. So I charge a lot of energy off of my Gengar because counters are triple resisted, and going for Shadow Punch, this will grab the opponent's shield. So I throw the energy immediately because I don't want to invest another shield in Gengar, and the opponent lets go of their Machamp, but they survive with some HP, and they will be able to throw this Rock Slide, which will almost knock our Gengar out. So maybe I should have shielded the Gengar there, but now I come in with Empoleon and throw this Hydro Cannon, and this will grab the shield of the opponent. So I make a swap to Dragonite, and they come in with Empoleon of their own. So yeah, I mean, I have been encountering a lot of Empoleons lately. I think it's the ratio is 50-50 between Swampert and Empoleon, but Empoleon definitely has picked up some favorite. It is one of the favorite water types in this meta, and was able to land a Hurricane. And but yeah, I mean, we definitely would want to shield this charge move. But now this Empoleon is in farm down range, and we are successfully able to farm down the Empoleon, and I immediately pull the trigger on Hydro Cannon because this Gallade must have been very close to a charge move, and Hydro Cannon knocks out the Gallade. So yeah, good game. Moving on to the next one, and we are in a Lapras lead, so this is really good because we will be resisting everything that Lapras can throw at us. Skull Bash will do decent amount of damage, but still Empoleon will be massively resisting this Lapras, and that's one benefit of running Empoleon over Swampert, that the Lapras matchup becomes much more clear. So they are going for Surf, it's doing neutral damage, and they come in with Machamp, and I make slight delay in the switching, and I come in with Dragonite, So this Machamp was ahead on energy, but and they successfully beat us with a cross chop. So not really looking good for our Dragonite. So going for Dragon Claw, let's see if we grab the opponent shield. The opponent does not shield, but we are fortunately able to farm down this Machamp completely. But we lack on one shield. So going for a Dragon Claw, let's see if the opponent shields the Lapras. The opponent does not shield, and we will eventually getting farmed down. So I expecting just a surf. So not shielding that, and now the Lapras will throw their remainder of their energy. So now I can come in with Gengar, but they have a Shadow Swampert in the back. So I think at this point the game is pretty much wrapped up, because Swampert has 2 shields and they will be beating us to the charge move. And I think Swampert is also a very spammy Pokemon, and if you get a chance, or if you give them 2 shields and the opponent does not have a Razor Leaf, I think it can do a lot of damage, and this Hydro Cannon will be able to knock this Gengar out. So yeah, the game is pretty much wrapped up at this stage. So good game. Moving on to the next one, and we are in a Poliwrath lead, so we do need to watch out for that Dynamic Punch. The dynamic Punch will do a lot of damage. So I do not shield this one expecting a bait, but they eventually end up landing that Dynamic Punch off us, which is really not good. And now the matchup is kind of flipped, because we do need to swap to our Gengar. So although Dynamic Punch will be resisted, but Ice Punch will do a decent amount of neutral damage, I would say. And this swap to Alolan Muk, which is really not good. Alolan Muk kind of counters the Gengar pretty badly, and since we are not running Focus Plus, Sludge Bomb will also be resisted. So not really looking good for us, because that Poliwrath is also fairly healthy. So letting go of Gengar, and I think I come in with don't know. I think the game is pretty much wrapped up, where we cannot do a lot in this game, because the opponent still has 2 shields intact, and we would want to shield the Dark Pulse. I tried to go for a Sack Swap there, but unfortunately the Alolan Muk was aware and did not throw that energy, and in turn we gave the Poliwrath some few extra mud shots. Going for Dragon Claw, we grab the opponent shields, but this Poliwrath unfortunately beats us to the next charge move and will be able to knock us out with that Ice Punch. And they have a Gengar in the back. So if we had not taken that, even if we had not taken that Ice Punch, I think Gengar would have been able to land the Shadow Ball or a Sludge Bomb. So regardless, it was game, set, match. And if you like this video, and if you like me posting such I am posting new team sets every day, so if you like such content, do make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. It will help us a lot, and thank you for watching. Peace.